Okay, ready? 5, 4, now.
Go! Oh my god!
I'm still fully down.
Deep breathing. Deep breathing. Jeez. Alright.
I like.
Welcome to the 2022 Alfa Romeo Giulia base.
Woo! Alright, so we're here in the Alfa Romeo Giulia. This is the all-wheel drive base model, correct?
Yes.
We are gonna take it through the city, through Queens up to Bear Mountain, get some nice scenic shots. We're gonna switch halfway and get a little bit of drive-a-rooney action on both hands. And full disclosure, I am incredibly hungover at this moment.
3, 2, 1, go.
Okay. You go. You go. You go.
You're always
Guys, we're here and
How hungover are you?
extreme.
Take your sunglasses off.
I can't.
Take them off.
I can't do it. The light. I can't do it. Back to car stuff.
I've had the car for a week. I picked it up on Monday. First initial impression, very sporty. This steering, if you get into this car, after you get into, let's say, a comparable 3 Series, you'll find that this feels like a go-kart.
Would that be a 330i X-Drive?
Yes. Stop and go traffic, it's fine, especially because, you know, we live in New York City. All you really want a car to do in this environment is just be fine.
Yeah, I think refinement does actually have its place here. Like, if I was living in a really quiet town, I don't think it would be as important to me.
When I first got in this car, the only thing that I did find difficult to get my head around, or actually get my feet around, was the electronic brake pedal.
Can you be a little bit more specific? Is this a grabby electronic one? Is it like a mushy,
It's not the
what
most
about it?
linear.
What do you
Yeah.
think of like first interior impressions?
Honestly, it's a great piece of design. It's very Italian in here, more so than the exterior. And that's actually a gripe that I'll, discuss later. This steering wheel, incredibly nice to hold.
Show them what you did when I asked you what you thought of the interior. Like this to the cockpit.
Oh, right, yeah.
It was like everything is right here. Like I was
So
like,
somehow
how is
you're
he? He
hungover
goes,
and you remember something that I don't. If you just tunnel vision straight ahead, the instrumentation, the binnacles, the steering wheel, the way the steering wheel feels, especially when you hold it at 9 and 3, which is how you're supposed to hold it.
Yep.
And even the Alfa Romeo logo, it's finished in this beautiful stainless steel effect.
It is nice.
And it really it makes you feel like you're in something more than the average econo box. And definitely has more flair than the Germans.
This is what they want to see. This is horrendous. Are you kidding me?
Fit and finish is not great whatsoever. But then again, if you're buying this car, you kind of expect it.
Yeah, this
you
is
don't-
the reputation it lives up to.
Yeah, if you want something that's extremely well built, like a BMW 3 Series, for example,
Yep.
you would get a BMW 3 Series.
This is going to be one of those cars that you lease.
And this isn't just us nitpicking. This car has 16,000 miles. And they actually had sort of an emergency interior makeover.
What model
1 or
year?
2 model years after. It was very soon.
Okay.
They definitely upgraded the materials here. The shifter used to be the cheapest piece of plastic I've ever seen in my entire life. Yeah, so they've tried to address some things. Now the infotainment screen is also touch compatible, but even then it's not the greatest in terms of response. Alright, so we're on the twisty piece of road with quite a bit of elevation changes and not the best road quality. So it's a good time to test out this vehicle dynamically. Yeah, definitely no trouble at all getting out of the hole in any sort of situation.
6.2.
6.2. 0 to 60 times really don't matter in the real world.
Alan's not a fan.
It's all about the like, let's just say
Sensation.
the 25 to 55, you know?
Because that's where you're gonna live.
Yeah.
How many times are you on ramping? Like, unless you live off of a highway, which I think is not most people, you're not gonna be using that.
This definitely has pretty aggressive launch control. I mean, the way it, and keep in mind, this isn't a dual clutch or anything.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what kind of alpha wizardry they were doing with the ZF 8-speed, but the way it launches, literally my phone flew. Yeah, so I really don't see why you wouldn't get the Veloce model. Even the base Sprint for 23 will come standard with the beautiful aluminum paddle shifters that are
The big ones?
yes, are Lamborghini Ferrari levels. You're also going to get standard adaptive cruise. So really, they're making this more and more of a compelling package.
So you can't defeat the stability control?
Yeah, and you know, on most cars, I understand. You know, that was my old boss.
Literally?
Yeah. A little roundabout action here. Let's see. Yeah, definitely, it's the tires that are giving up.
It's just
and I'm
tires.
sure it's something that can easily be addressed when, again, if you spring for the Veloce model, which, as I talk about it more and more, is a no-brainer. Yeah.
So I after hearing what it comes with, these are all the things I would want. But again, it's price dependent. Like if that was stretching my budget, I would probably just move down to the base model personally.
Yeah. So really, it has everything the driver enthusiast would need, albeit for the LSD. But really, I mean, the chassis is so good, especially, you know, if you're in colder climate like us, we get the Q4 all-wheel drive. I mean, what more do you really need? At no point am I, you know, feeling like, oh, I could really use an LSD.
Yeah. It's pretty good.
Yeah, it's really good. I mean, like, these are corners that are very demanding.
He's taking. Oh. It's very exciting.
Yeah, it does an auto upshift, which is great.
Yep. It's a really annoying thing. I used to not care, and now I'm like, I test cars for that, and I'm like, why do they do that?
These shifts are really crisp.
For a torque converted automatic.
Yeah. I mean, the ZF 8-speed is
amazing.
Renowned for. I mean, they put it in anything. Yeah. Like
anything.
Literally anything.
It's in BMW. It's in this. It is in Dodge.
The Demon uses the same basic transmission.
It's in
Urus, Cayenne, Q7,
Supra,
everything.
Can you hear dope sounds from the outside without it?
Yeah, and the thing is, I really don't think this car actually has pumped-in audio.
I would say
at least it doesn't sound like.
I would say there's none.
Yeah.
All right, so money's no object, and you live in an environment like this, not like in the city, and you do have access to these twisties. Are you going with a 3 Series, or are you going with this? Both are base model.
100% the Giulia.
I'm 100% the 3 Series, even though I love this car.
Yeah, but I think that's just because you're a douche.
Yeah, right. My turn. Yeah.
Nice little thin Italian cigarette. I guess this is an appropriate time for us to talk about performance figures. 280 horsepower, 306 pound-feet of torque, class leading in the entry level.
I think that has more than
luxury sedan segment.
Everything, right?
Yeah. You know, 3 Series A4, they're all around the same power, like 250, 260.
And they feel around the same too.
Yeah, but Alfa is definitely the only one to surpass 300 in terms of torque. And definitely paired to this ZF 8-speed transmission and a very diesel-like red line of just shy of 6,000.
Yeah. It's super torquey.
Yes.
I love that. You don't feel as much as you would think around town. I think it comes in at 2,000, and then it hits max at 5,000, I believe.
Yeah.
You can still go past it, but like that's when you're at peak power. and it's it's super satisfying.
We do have it in full dynamic mode. Alfa's nomenclature for their drive select system is D and A. D stands for dynamic, N normal or natural actually, and A for all weather. So we've got D and A in the worst font possible, but shout out to Italy. So D, N, and A. A being all weather, again, I think that's just marketing.
I imagine it
Bull
keeps you
crap.
in a lower gear and there's no.
It's basically comfort mode. They just wanted it to say DNA.
They want to say they have
Just-
Ferrari DNA.
Yeah,
that's their whole
just
thing.
through some random words they could find.
Because like Lotus, you'd already kind of know that about, and this one, like you had to toss down the hand-me-downs.
Yeah.
Now I'm throwing it into N, right?
Yeah.
It gets a little quieter. You get a little less engine drone. The engine drone in D mode is not really fun to listen to.
No.
It's
Actually, one thing
hard.
I forgot to mention, this car does have a plethora of performance pages right over here. So we have
all the
performance
stuff
content.
I would like on my TAC.
Yeah, so technical gauges,
That's cool.
consumption history.
Got your boost.
Yeah, efficient drive we're going to be pulling in here. And also how your all-wheel drive is distributing its power. It's my personal belief that, you know, when it comes to cars, and obviously you, the audience, at the end of the day, and consumers alike, most people don't care about numbers. What they care about is whether or not a car has sufficient power to get around, and whether or not the car is capable. Let's just put it that way. Don't know what the hell Max is doing.
Seeing what I can do with the exhaust, which the answer is nothing.
I don't. It is a rental car, so don't feel any sort of mechanical sympathy for it.
I don't feel mechanical sympathy for anything.
This definitely feels on, I would personally say, Ferrari light levels in terms of how the steering responds, how it communicates to you. I know that's a bit of a stretch. And I have actually driven a Ferrari.
Which one?
The GTC4 Lusa. If you're sitting inside the car, very, very befitting of what Alfa Romeo is. Different story for me, at least, from the outside. To our dismay, when this car first came out, we just both didn't think it looked very Italian whatsoever. I mean, you know, we'll insert some shots of cars that were sold by Alfa in the early 2000s, and were never, you know, sold here. The Brera, the 159, cars like that, they look so exotic and so Italian, you know, with
They're beautiful design.
Yeah, they're just beautiful. And contrast to this car, from the outside, apart from the signature Alfa triangle grille, you take that off, it could be any car. By the way, Apple CarPlay on this absolutely sucks. And I checked, it's not my phone, it just lags like crazy. I have completely failed to see cyclists, pedestrians, right in this zone right here. It really does not help that these mirrors are gigantic.
So this is blind spot number one, which is an issue for me, yes. And also is the mirror. This is blind spot number two, which on both sides, I can't see if there's anyone there at all. So I have to like literally move forward and look through the back window.
Oh, that was a very nice downshift. Max is driving like a complete ass, by the way. We need a little disclaimer at the bottom saying professional drivers.
Yeah, don't
on
do
a closed
this.
course.
You will.
Please obey traffic laws.
There's like he's on my left.
This is alpha mating. This is just... I'm recording on my phone now because given how immature we are, this GoPro has died. But Max here is driving in a position that can only be described as motherly.
I'm right up on there, bro.
Yeah, holding the wheel like he's
Vince.
God.
What's his name? Let's go.
Sour. Yeah.
And slow down for
Stop
traffic.
behind
And we
Subaru.
go.
At no point do I feel carsick.
I
think,
the same, yeah.
and I think that speaks to how composed this chassis is.
If I had kids and they were in the back,
Yeah.
I would love to have this because it doesn't make them feel like your dad's crazy.
Everything feels so at one.
The Alfa Romeo Giulia, the Sprint all-wheel drive, the Stallion that could be more Italian, the Enzo Gorlami. While we're not in love with the quality control in this car, what you have here is a chassis that stays flat through the mountains and canyons all the way to your weekend golf trip. The Giulia may not be inspiring in the city, but it's undeniably at home on a back road with more than usable ZF transmission and fun mid to upper range torque that far surpasses direct competitors. In conclusion, don't buy it, maybe lease it, but why not rent it the next time you travel? I'm Max.
And I'm Alan.
Thanks for watching 10/10ths Car Reviews.
See you on the next one.